Hi guys, Daniel Bocci here of Daniel Bocci Photography, Thailand-based photographer since 2009, shooting weddings here since 2011. So today I just want to kind of go over some things that might help you hire your Thailand wedding photographer, and also things to help you get the most out of your wedding photography and your wedding day. Okay, so firstly, starting with hiring a photographer. Now, Thailand has a lot of photographers, and the price range of these photographers can go from crazy low comparison to what you'd pay maybe in America or the UK. And some people are right on par with what you might pay back home. So obviously it's tempting to find a very affordable photographer because you guys are, traveling here. You obviously have a budget. There's a lot of expenses involved. But if you're someone who cares about photography, you really need to be careful. Unfortunately, most photographers, their websites and socials don't paint the perfect picture of what you might receive. The average website only shows maybe 30 to 50 photos of their absolute best photos. A lot of them are put into collages to look better. So it's hard to know what you might get, what you might be paying for. So it's important to look extensively at that person's portfolio, look at their reviews. If you decide to go with the most expensive photographer, doesn't mean you're going to get the best photography. No, if you get the absolute cheapest photography, doesn't mean you're going to get the worst photography. No, but it is important to kind of understand that there's a reason why people's prices are what they are. If they are offering something that seems too good to be true and their portfolio looks great from their website and a little bit of the socials, it's likely that you're going to get what you pay for. But if you're not picky, you might just be happy. Not everybody just absolutely needs the best photography. Also, what you need to realize when you're hiring a photographer is that you're not just hiring them to take your photo. You're also hiring them for their service. Okay, what we do, we take photos as a business and we offer a service. Now, not everybody is good at all three or even two of these three. So it's important, say more important for me if I was to hire a photographer and me understanding the business, that somebody is good at taking photos but has great service, runs a business. Also consider, if you're considering an international photographer here in Thailand, make sure they have a registered company and work permit, because these people are here on tourist visas, working illegally. Okay, they're really taking money out of locals' pockets, the Thai economy, and you never know what can happen. These visas, some of them, again, on tourist visas or an educational visa, they might get caught working in the country and get kicked out before your wedding, while you're planning your wedding. If they don't show up to your wedding, what are you going to do? They didn't live here. They don't have a registered residence here. How are you going to find them, by the website if they don't answer you? So there's a lot of things. And also, just most importantly, is you're coming to Thailand to get married, probably because it's a special place for you. You want to give back to the country, so hire locals. Again, people that do it correctly, like me, and have a registered company and work permit. We do pay taxes. We do employ Thai staff. I am a permanent resident here. I have a residency card. I own a house. I have a family, Thai wife. So I'm giving back to the government, to the community, and that's the way it should be. Anyways, moving on from that. First thing you should do after maybe you have a short list of photographers that you're looking to hire, get them on a video chat, okay? That's a great way to kind of break the ice and see if you're going to be comfortable with that person, if you like their attitude, you can get all your questions answered quickly. And you'll see their service mind and how experienced they actually are. Remember, you're not just hiring us as a photographer to work with you, but you're also inviting us as a guest. We'll be there with you probably more than most people during your wedding day. Pretty much holding your hand, What's next? What's next? What do we do next? Photographer is always right there with you. So you're going to want to be comfortable with them, okay? Communication is key. And once you do that and you picked your photographer that you feel most comfortable with or it fits within your needs, ask for a contract agreement. I have a contract agreement. It's about 5 pages long. It's just terms and conditions that are there to protect you and myself. So once we have kind of a schedule from the wedding planner, we're going to do another video call. This could be a couple months before your wedding, a month before your wedding, even a couple weeks, but not too close. We try not to make the video call too close. And this is where we're going to go over the schedule, and then we're going to make a photography schedule, okay, based on that. A lot of times I will change around the schedule because the wedding planner doesn't always know what's kind of best for photography or even best for the bride sometimes. And the bride definitely usually doesn't know what's best for her because she's never been married before and she wants to do this. A lot of times there's a lot of clutter, which is going to ruin your photography. You don't want things to be super rushed. Okay, so you're going to go over the photography schedule, and I'm going to give you some examples of what this may look like. So I'm going to base this example off an 8-hour package, which is the average full coverage for brides here. And that's usually between 2 p.m. start and a 10 p.m. finish. That typically covers most things, meaning the details, candid moments before the ceremony, the getting ready, portraits, shots with some family, getting some of the setup of the wedding ceremony, through the dinner, portraits, etc. So that usually covers it all. So what I'll usually do is I'll come in. I'm just going to say there's one photographer. Always recommend 2. Cover a lot more ground, much easier, worth your investment. But anyways, if it's just me coming in, say I come in at 2 o'clock, I'm going to start with the details. Now, what are the details? Hanging the dress, shoes, flowers. If you have like wedding invitation cards, jewelry, things like that. I'll put some examples right here so you understand what those details are. We'll also get a little bit of a candid stuff of you having makeup done, family around, maybe you and the bridesmaids in their robes. And I'll also go over to the groom and try to do the same thing. The reason why we start at 2 and maybe say the ceremony's at 5, you may say, isn't 3 hours too much? Do we need that much time before the ceremony? And the answer is yes. Yes, if you want to do it correctly, yes, we need time for those details. Typically we spend more time with the brides. Remember, we might have to travel over to the groom. It might be a huge hotel, and it could take 10 minutes to get there. And then we have to shoot the groom as well and some details in there, get portraits of him in his jacket, rush back to you and the bridesmaids, portraits of just you, maybe shot with you and your parents. And then we want to go down to the ceremony area, have time to capture some of the details of the ceremony area where there's no people there. That means before the guests arrive. So we can capture everything in storytell. One thing that's important I want to point out is you should get your makeup done. Your makeup should be done 2 hours before your ceremony, in my opinion, because you're at that point, now you can get some shots maybe with your bridesmaids in your robes. You can relax a little bit and then get into your dress about 1 hour before the ceremony. You're going to put on your dress. Don't worry, you can hang out in the air conditioning. This way we can have maybe 15 minutes at least to get portraits of just you in your dress and maybe a couple with you and your bridesmaids. And that will give us some time and not to be rushed. You don't want to rush a photographer. If you're looking for these magical shots that you're seeing online, that you're obsessing, I would love something like this. Usually that doesn't happen when a photographer is extremely rushed. I've seen sometimes brides, their makeup will be done 10 minutes before their ceremony, and they throw on their dress and people are yelling at them right and left. They're stressed out. I'm stressed out. I don't have what I need. And lucky to get one good shot. Okay. Like lucky, So you're going to want 2 hours beforehand, makeup done, dress on at least an hour before the ceremony. We'll get those shots, no rush. And then you can relax again as I go down to the ceremony area to capture the setup and guest arriving. Okay. So these are very important to have. in order to maximize your photography and again your experience. You don't want to be too rushed. Okay, so ceremony's captured, ceremony's done. Normally the thing we do is group photos. Okay, so we'll get everybody in there, one group shot. Some couples will do smaller group shots like immediate family, groom side of the family, then bride side of the family, in smaller groups, and then we'll go out and do portraits. Now, if your ceremony starts at 5, typical ceremony here, unless it's religious or there's a lot of long speeches, only really last about 15 minutes, 20 minutes from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, so let's just say 5:30 you're done. We get the group shot, we get a couple smaller group shots. It's now 5:45. And remember, the sun sets anywhere between 6:15 and 6:30 typically during the high season here. So you're going to want to immediately go and get some portraits on the beach or around the hotel. I'll typically do that for about 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes, and then I'll let you guys take a break for another 10 minutes, mingle during cocktail hour with the guests. Then when the sun starts to set, I'll pull you out for another 5-10 minutes tops to get more portraits, just so there's a bit of different contrasts to the portraits, okay? And then from there, it's really just photographers will be in the background the rest of the day. Let him do what he does. You have to trust him. If you can't trust him, you can't hire him. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. Happy to give out free advice, as long as it's not too long. But happy to answer any questions in the comments as well. Thanks for listening to me mumble. And if you need a good wedding photographer for your Thailand wedding or anywhere else in the world, take a look at my website, my socials, all that stuff. And hope you guys enjoyed this content. See you guys later.